What is going on, everyone? We are back with the review to the final story of season 1 of Armchair Thriller. Um, Please remember to check the link in the description below. That'll take you over to the Patreon where you can get everything a full week early. So, the Limbo Connection is directed by Robert Tronson, written by Philip Mackey. All the episodes released from May 2nd to May 18th in 1978. Consisted of 6 episodes. I need you guys first and foremost to understand that when I do this review might be a little incoherent. I want to be 100% honest with you guys. It is 1:13 in the morning. 1 o'clock is usually my bedtime, and I got to do this. I got to do the rankings. I got to upload everything because one of these is supposed to come out tomorrow. Or today, I guess, technically. Or all these are supposed to come out today. And I'm going to try to get through this as much as possible. Again, spoilers. Always spoilers. So, we have a husband and a wife who don't get along, aren't sleeping together, aren't happy with each other. When he gets drunk, he gets abusive. He is not abusive when he's not drunk. Not that makes it any better, but she's a head writer for a newspaper. None of their friends like him, basically. It is suspected, I suspect, that she sleeps with the photographer in the group. We know for a fact he sleeps with one of his movie co-stars, ex-TV show movie co-stars people. I don't know who she is. But she also eventually helps him figure everything out down the line. We'll get there. But one day, they get into an argument. She wants him to sell the cottage that they own, the second home, because she can't afford it on her own because he's not working, because he's also a writer, but he's got writer's block and has had writer's block for a long time, has no money to him. He's bringing in no money for the family. She goes to a interview at this rich house where, while she's there, she ends up eating some bad food, wrecks on the way home. Somebody picks her up. They run her to a local doctor spot. And when they get to the local doctors, he's like a private physician person. He pumps her stomach because it turns out she's got food poisoning. He says something about her needing to stay there for a couple days to heal up. He calls, leaves answering machine messages at the home of her husband, and then all while this is happening, he's out flirting and pretty much sleeping with the movie star person that we were talking about. He ends up making it home somehow, some way. And the wife never shows up. He never checks the answering machine. He goes out to the cottage, can't find her there. Eventually goes on to reach out to the police because he can't find her. He checks the car that she left. He calls somebody, and they tell him that she was taken to that hospital. He goes and checks the hospital. They say that she left at 9 o'clock in the morning. He goes to check the car that was left on the side of the road. It's gone, like it's there, but the makeup is still in it and stuff like that. So none of her belongings are there except for the makeup kit. And he starts to slowly start unraveling this case. Like, eventually there's like a letter that shows up where she quits her job and stuff like that, but it smells like jasmine, and she hates the smell of jasmine, and he knows that, but everyone thinks that he doesn't, like he's crazy. He confronts the doctor saying that she's got to be here somewhere. Even going as far as uncovering a plot where they're faking the deaths of these old people to happen sooner while keeping the old people still there, so that the families that have them there can collect the insurance payment to get the money, which of course he gets a cut of when it happens. And that plot actually ends up being true. And the cops are constantly trying to pin her disappearance and her probable, I will say probable murder on her husband. And he's like, "Why? There's no way I could do this." Like, and the thing is, he gets blackout drunk, so he doesn't remember what happened. So they're like, "Oh, maybe you killed her while you were drunk, and you just don't remember it." And he's like, "No, I didn't do it. I did not do it." So eventually, uh, there's even this other old lady that he meets in a bar that becomes off and on as a character, and they build up this friendship over the course of the 5 episodes, because she dies at the end of the fifth one. But they build up this friendship for like 5 episodes, and eventually another person dies over at the main place, the doctor's place, and they take the body and bury it, and it's supposed to be this one person. And it actually turns out it's not her, it's somebody else, which actually proves the main guy's theory right, that people are dying, and it's crazy. Eventually, he puts in a couple ads in the newspaper. One of the newspapers gets to the person that's supposed to inside the thing, which is supposed to basically tell her to throw flowers out the window. She does, which the police watch happen to prove his theory is right, that she's not actually dead. They go in, investigate the place. While they're investigating the place, the guy sneaks in before they get there. He gets caught, knocked out. They're about to strap him down in the gurney downstairs, but the police show up at the place, so they rush upstairs without strapping him down. He wakes up, but they shut down the elevators, which is the only way to get upstairs, and there's also a stairway, but it's locked from inside the room. And he's just the police are in there, and he's just trying to figure out how to get their attention. He ends up turning on the call or the alarm in the elevator, which the police go down. And by the way, shortly before this, his actress friend ends up getting kidnapped, and she's locked away in a coffin somewhere in a funeral home as collateral, basically. He goes the cops get down there, find him down there with his wife who's knocked out, and everybody's laid out, and then they go rescue the girl from the coffin, and then it ends with the main lady who had been kidnapped originally, his wife, the main guy's wife. She gets a new possible book deal, maybe a movie deal, and other things, and she's just basically going to turn all this into a lot of profit, which is normal. He leaves the little office party that's being thrown to go hang out with the actress lady, and that's how the episode ends. That's how the story ends. Again, I gave you a very loose plot line. There are so many intricate details that unfold as you go through that honestly plays out to be probably one of the coolest murder mysteries that I've ever got to sit down and watch. It was actually very well written, very well acted. If there's any complaint that I have, it's the end almost feels rushed. And what I mean by the end almost feels rushed is I feel like there could have been another 10 minutes of after the stuff is done, what is everyone up to, right? Because you don't really know if the guy's going to leave his wife to actually be with the actress chick, or if they're going to continue just being side pieces with each other. If the wife is going to end up leaving him so that she could pursue this new career of just being this new person. It's very obvious that the lady that is supposed to be friends with the main chick that got kidnapped to begin with, the other lady that took her place in the office, also, it's very obvious that she helped orchestrate everything, but she's never implicated in any of it, which I feel like she should be. And there's just so much more that I feel like could be told in the story. Again, though, I think as far as a season finale goes, as far as a story goes, because obviously I don't think this was ever considered like a season finale in the newer traditional sense. This is the 70s. I don't think they really thought of it like that. But this was very well told. I think it's a really good story. I think it's one of the best stories we've covered on the channel so far. Definitely one of the best stories in this series. I mean, there's only 5 stories. Let's be real. And unlike some of the other stuff, honestly, this and Quiet as a Nun did a really good job filling the 6 episodes to make you actually feel like there was stuff there. Whereas that first 6 episode story just wasn't all that great. A Dog's Ransom. I was so worried after that, and then The Girl Who Walked Quickly, that just wasn't as good as the first episode. But for it to have 3 of the 5 stories be really well done, I gotta give him props. So yeah, that is gonna do it for this. Like I said, I never intended for this to be a very long review. I still got a lot to do before I get to bed, which is so tiring. Oh, so tiring. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for hanging out. That is going to do it for this review. And join me on the ranking to figure out what we're going to be covering next, or just see what happens to come out in the next couple days. So I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.